everybody, it's Safi and Marco, Dish Out on the Movies. And today, I am going to do my top 10 worst movies of the decade.
Which decade, Safi?
The one we just went through.
Which one was that?
The 2010 through 2019 one. And Marco will be here, of course, to make comments about my choices, I guess, or whatever he wants. Well, with so many movies to choose from, and even with the fact that I don't watch as many movies as Marco, it was still hard to figure out how much worse one movie could be than another. My movies are number 10, which would be the least worst, all the way to number 1, which is the absolute worst. So, starting off, my number 10 is Spider-Man Homecoming, which came out in 2017. Now, we all know, if we know Spider-Man, that he has his own powers that he got because he was bitten. But for some reason, after that last movie that this new Spider-Man was in, where he's a kid and he's just gotten his powers and just realizing them, Iron Man decided to bestow what Marco and I termed as a Junior Iron Man suit. I say Junior Iron Man meaning, well, I think it's only Junior because it was smaller or something, but it still had tremendous powers, and I don't think there's really that much difference between his Iron Man suit and the real Iron Man suit. Now, why did that disturb me a lot? Because he was too immature to handle that power. And why did he need that anyway, since he has his own powers? I don't get that. I don't think that was ever made clear ever, but I could be wrong. And that direction, or that gift that was bestowed on him, turned him into being like a young Iron Man. That was not right. But he embraced it. Bad, bad, bad. This is why I like the follow-up movie a lot better. It was a more honest reckoning with him being a teenager and wanting to fit in. At least that one reflected a more honest feeling of what a teenager would have who is already intellectually gifted with getting these new enhanced powers.
Yeah, I agree. Spider-Man Homecoming is effing terrible. And, it was so bad that when Safi watched it a second time, when Safi watched it, I didn't even watch it with her, because that's how bad it was. I didn't want to sit through that garbage again. I mean, you got terrible casting choices, you got a terrible story, you got plagiarized elements from the previous Spider-Man movies. I mean, it's just abysmal. But I did not have it in my list anywhere, because I have movies that were much worse.
Hey, the next one is number 9, and it's 2012's Man of Steel. Oh boy, I bet you're all wondering, why am I picking on all these superheroes? Because they're crappy movies, okay? I felt very irritated at what Superman's father said to him. He practically erased the whole Superman legacy. It was like his Earth father tried to undermine his whole life and what was left for him to do. And I just couldn't believe it. It just freaked me out. And I just, it made me hate the whole movie. And it really wasn't that great anyway. Then the next one is number 8, 2018. And I know this is going to freak many of you out. And guess what? I don't care, because I have my own opinion. This was Avengers Infinity War. Now, for years, I've been trying to be a writer, and I did end up being a newspaper writer for several years. And the advice that was given to me, because I really wanted to write a book War II was that you can't have too many characters. Well, obviously in this movie, there are too many characters, too many places, and too many different stories. Now, I know, in order to do this, which was really quite an undertaking, that they all revolved around that glove, and each jewel in the glove represented certain characters at a certain place. And
What?
so what do they do? How would they fix it? I don't know, and I'm sorry, I just can't. That's not my job, actually, on how to fix it. But when you have too many people and all this, too many characters, too many places, it becomes confusing and muddled, and the story gets diluted, confusing, and lost.
Hey, Safi. Safi,
Yes.
did you like Cloud Atlas? No, did you like that movie?
It was okay. I read that book too.
Guess how many characters Cloud Atlas has, Safi?
Quite a few.
Okay.
Okay, now we're on number.
You can't count?
Well,
Can you
I
count?
have 7.
It's 7.
8. Is it? Okay. This was made in 2017, and this was very sad for me because this was The Glass Castle. Now, I urge everybody to read this book. It is a really, really good book. Unlike the movie. And I was very sad that it popped into my top 10 worst movies of the decade. I debated and I took it out and I put it in, but I don't have that many, so anyway, it got in, and it became the it book of the Dayton, Ohio and surrounding metro area. There were book groups, and I think they interviewed the author. She was in the paper, and we all read and studied it and discussed it. I sent a copy of it to my friend in Kansas City. That's where I'm from, remember? If she wanted to read it. So I was sad when the movie came out, and it really let down the author and her brothers and sisters. And this isn't the only time this has happened. As like other fine books, they turned it into a stinker movie. And I'll just give you another example of anybody, and this is a really good book too. A book called Clan of the Cave Bear by author Jean Auel. I don't know if that's how you say her name. It's Auel. She hated the movie too. And she didn't make any secret about her dislike for it. So, anyway. So, The Glass Castle, the author who wrote this book, it was about her brothers and sisters and having to put up with a mother who was like mentally checked out. And I'm not saying she was a bad person, but she was.
Yes, she was.
No, I don't.
Yes, she was.
I just think she was
Fuck her.
fruitcake.
And fuck the father, too.
Don't say that. And the father
Horrible people.
was an alcoholic who basically left them. So the movie was about their survival, struggling to survive. I mean, eat, have clothes. Even if it was just one outfit. Even a place to live. They were living in, I can't remember, like a shack in the desert or something, and they would just like take it over because they had nowhere to go. And the father, who is an alcoholic, he actually took their money. When they got older, they get little odd jobs, and they get money to get something to eat. I think there was a time when one of them there was some butter in the refrigerator, and they just ate butter, and it just made me sick. But
Safi, they ate butter and sugar.
oh yeah, okay, that's what I thought, but I wasn't positive. But anyway, you're probably going, well, she read the book, but it was a while. It was very, oh God, disturbing. And it was even more disturbing that their father stole their money to buy alcohol. So that was the movie. That was the book. That's what it was about, the kids' survival. And there are cases like that happen today. where the kids are severely abused, neglected, whatever, and they're trying to survive. And I think that this book would be an inspiration to them to just, you can do it. But anyway, what happened in the movie, though, was they focused on the father. Like he was the it person of the movie. And the problem is he is a really good actor. It's Woody Harrelson.
Well, he's actually the only good part of the whole movie.
Yeah. And he did an excellent job. I even thought, and probably Marco, he should have been nominated for Academy Award for Best Actor.
Well, a good award, not an Academy Award.
Well, any award, yeah, would have been nice because he deserved it. He did an excellent job. And like Marco said, that's probably the only good thing about the movie. And I just felt it was a travesty for children who are neglected and abused. And I'm thinking of a family that recently, I think last year, they all had to wear the same clothes. And as soon as the kid got to be more than a baby, they would just neglect and they were chained to their beds. And
what does that have to do with this movie?
It has to do with the movie's
just stay on topic.
Helpful for children who have had to live like this.
You're talking about why this movie's a piece of shit.
Well, that's why it was, because it didn't stick with the book. And this isn't a case when that's what the movie was about, the kids, not the dad. The dad was just part of it. He was just he was a part of their problem.
And then they acted like the mom was just a victim of the dad.
And no, she wasn't. She was mentally checked out.
And, I don't think, see, the thing is that in order to be inspiring, the person has to be inspiring. And I don't think anyone wants to grow up and be Captain Marvel.
Okay, my number 6 was a 2018 movie called Puppet Master, The Littlest Reich, like R-E-I-C-H, like Germany, like Hitler kind of thing, and intertwining deathly Nazi politics into the story of Toulon and his puppets turned this movie into crap, where the acting was terrible, the story bizarre, and it made this Puppet Master movie really bad. And that was sad because people like the Puppet Master movies, but nobody wants to make a good one anymore. They just want to make crap.
Well, I actually think it's okay. I've seen all the Puppet Master movies, so, if you think this movie's bad, you got Blade the Iron Cross, which Safi will be talking about soon. and you got Puppet Master 6, which was, that movie was so bad I couldn't even figure out how there could be a worse Puppet Master movie. You got there's so many other bad Puppet Master movies. So it's like, this one was actually to me like a slight improvement. But anyways, go ahead, Safi.
Well, I was going to do the top 5 now.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, now we're on the top 5, and that's a motley crew of movie-making crap. And I apologize that I'll say the word crap maybe too many times, but I can't help it. What should I say, a bad word? No, not really.
Be like me, Safi.
No, I want to be like myself.
Okay.
So, number 5 is a 2016 Batman versus Superman.
Ugh.
Sigh. Upon hearing that this movie was being made, I was pissed. It sounded asinine to have 2 American heroes dedicated to keeping people safe and fighting evil to fight each other. I thought that was the stupidest idea ever. And Marco said, oh, well, this had been done in the comics. Well, the movies are not comic books. But it sounded bad when I first heard about it, and I was right. The movie was crap. Okay.
And I also had her watch both Dark Knight Returns animated movies, and she didn't like the second one either. The one where it's the one that this movie was inspired by. So she's not going to like the comic book itself in its purest form, and she's not going to like this piece of shit adaptation either.
Okay, number 4 is a 2000. It's my only one.
2010, you mean?
2010. I apologize. It's the only early one actually out of the whole group. Was Little Fockers.
Oh.
Oh boy. Another stupid movie that I couldn't stand. Either you respect the fine actors who make your movies by providing a good story and great jokes, or don't make it at all.
Well, to be fair, I mean...
No, there's no fair.
Yeah, to be fair, the actors in this movie, if they're such good, funny actors, then they could have come up with little funny things here and there as well. Because I've seen Little Fockers, I would say like 20 times. Because I tried to find something about it to like, because I liked the whole series. And there's nothing in the movie to like except for the little subplot with Owen Wilson. But like other than that, like Safi, I mean, you didn't even get into details. This is your number 4 movie.
I don't care.
I mean, was it really that bad, Safi?
Yeah, it was, because it was ordinary and plain. And you have Robert De Niro, who's really good, superb at drama.
Like in Dirty Grandpa?
I'm talking about like The Godfather or something like that. And he's been in a lot of other movies, and he's really good at comedy, which is funny. And he's been on Saturday Night Live, and so which is really, off the cuff, and that's live TV. So he did really good in that too. So playing Robert Mueller. So
No,
I don't know if he's done
Safi.
anything else as a stand-up or but he's good at both genres, comedy and drama. And then you have the other guy, Ben Stiller, who is excellent at comedy, excellent. And so it just, to me, it's a travesty that they would have to be in. And that should have been a good movie, because all the other ones were pretty good. I really enjoyed them. I laughed. They were actually the first Fockers movie. That was like iconic. Some of the things they did and the things they said. So it was sad, and it was a shame.
Yeah, they should have. I mean, I don't think that Little Fockers should have like 10 sequels like Halloween. I think that, they should have just made, like, one last good movie. And have that be the third movie, and have that be the closer to the series.
Yeah,
and
of
instead,
course.
they ended on a train wreck.
Yep, I agree. Okay. I'm ready to do number 3. And I don't know if you all be unhappy about this, but too bad. It's Halloween, made in 2018. Jamie Lee Curtis is back. I'm sorry. Is it 2018 or 2000?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Safi.
Okay. In this 2018 edition of Halloween, acting like a lunatic. But how can that be? I thought she died already.
She did. But
Don't these versions need to connect somehow
no, those other versions don't count anymore.
to make sense? Can you really discount the events of previous versions and pretend like they never happened? No, no, and no, and no. This was bizarre and a vanity project, or someone's fever dream written on a piece of paper and brought to life. Then what happened? Did the writer or writers have leg cramps like myself, not be able to sleep, and come up with this wackadoo stupid movie where Jamie Lee built some kind of survivalist bunker complete with a trap for Michael Myers? It's a horrible movie. Maybe it should be number 1, but I have 2 even worse movies than this one. Believe you me. Please, Jamie Lee, don't lower yourself to be in any more of these Halloween movies.
Well, Safi, there's one coming out this year with her in it. And in the trailer, she's like, "Burn him! Ah!" Like usual.
Okay, well, you know what? It wasn't worth it because they are the crappiest of crap. I told you I would say crap a lot.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got like stupid shit in there, like just constant plagiarizing of the sequels that they're supposedly ignoring. and you got terrible music that doesn't even go together. Like, all the different tracks are like tracks from like what should be different Halloween movies. Like, each one is like extremely different from the other. It's like a scrapbook of Halloween music. And then you got like that stupid agenda shit in it, like that kissing consent scene where that guy is gonna kiss the main girl, and then she's like, "Ew, stop it! I didn't say you could do that. I didn't consent."
We're on number 2 now, 2019. Things are just getting worse. It's Glass. Ugh. Spew and double spew. When you have James McAvoy, Samuel Jackson, and Bruce Willis on board to make part 3 of this particular trilogy, then why does the director/writers disrespect them enough to do not respect them enough to make it as good as the other 2? It's like the writers accidentally fell backward off the cliff, staying alive long enough to write a draft of this movie. I felt the actors were so disrespected by the quality of the story, and the actions they were asked to make were so poor that they were probably too contractually obligated to say no to doing the movie. It just made me sick, and the disrespect was disgusting.
Well, yeah, that movie was pretty bad. I didn't even have it on my list anywhere because, I mean, it's so bad that I actually just, like, don't even want to talk about it.
Okay. Are we on number 1 now?
I guess you are. Do you have trouble counting again?
All right. Well, this is number 1, and I hope nobody gets upset with me, but really, I can't help it. I really can't. This was another 2019, which I don't know wasn't even the pandemic yet. So there's no excuse.
You don't have the actual title, though.
Oh, I was going to say it. It's Dolomite or Dolomite.
That's not the title, though.
What's the title?
Dolomite is my name! That's the title.
Spew. Eddie Murphy, I speak to you. Do you really need a vanity project like this to boost your career? I don't think so. I saw you on Saturday Night Live this year when you were spectacular as always. Funny as ever and right on target. This movie was trash, and I saw it through its entirety. Bad. Maybe you really wanted to do it, but sometimes you shouldn't get everything you want. Can't you do something better? Because you are a natural talent, like always. And this movie is like someone stomped on you.
Well, and you add on to the fact that, supposedly the real life Dolomite actor, he always wanted to be in an Eddie Murphy movie because he loved Eddie Murphy and thought he was his favorite actor. And supposedly Eddie Murphy never offered him a single role in any of his movies. Even the movies that, like, he was in charge of making. And so, you have it really was a vanity project, and it was made by the same people who've made other crappy biographic movies. And basically, it's the same formula every biographical movie they do. They have some funny stuff in there, and they have all this drama, and they have all this sappy crap. Like, there's got to be a part near the end where there's, like, a period where the main character feels bad, and they're sad about something, and it's like, this movie is just trash. And the fact that so many people like it, they basically just like it for the fact that it's a black movie. I mean,
that's silly.
Oh, if you look at the original Dolomite, it's a terrible fucking movie. And it's actually one of the worst movies that I've ever seen. And so to sit there and act like it's some sort of inspirational story is just ridiculous. I mean, there's so many movies out there that, like, it'd be great to see like a movie like this about them. And we're not going to see that for a while because we had to get the Dolomite movie. And the Dolomite movie was not worth it to begin with because it's not an inspiring story in the slightest. I mean, this guy, he never even got to fame like he wanted to. Like, he basically just stayed popular with the same small amount of people his whole life. And like, the original Dolomite is terrible. I mean, Safi, would you want to watch the original one?
No.
No, I don't think so. So that's really the big failure of the movie. It's not the movie itself, even though the movie itself is trash too. It's the fact that it's based off of a movie that's not worthy of being inspirational. Because another thing is, like, they took scenes from other movies that weren't Dolomite because Dolomite itself was so shitty and terrible. That's how bad the original Dolomite was. They had to take scenes from other movies that he made and put them in there as being, quote, a part of Dolomite. And so, Safi, we'd like to make an announcement, right? Safi, Safi, she needs to catch up on some 2020 movies that she did not take the time to watch the whole year.
Because I've been busy reselling.
That doesn't matter.
On eBay and Poshmark.
And so it's like 6 or 7 movies she's got to watch to make like 10 or 11 or something. And one of those movies is that shitty rape feminazi movie that I saw in theaters on Christmas Day, Promising Young Woman. Mm-hmm. And guess what Safi's going to be doing?
Reviewing it.
No.
What?
Safi is going to be doing a Bean Boozled commentary over it alongside me. And I'll also be participating because I hated it so much.
Whatever.
Okay, that's official.
Official? Yeah, you can make fun of me, but I can make as much fun of you. Official. I hope that everybody, I know, I'm sorry if I offended anybody, but guess what? I'm sorry, not sorry. Because I have the right to my opinion. I try to be as respectful as possible because, people are just trying to work. And I know people have a thing about Hollywood, but they are people who do have jobs. It's not just the actors, it's all the people who make the movie. And, they do take themselves pretty much seriously. They do take what they do seriously. So I just want movies to be as good as they can be or better. Because why even do it? There are a lot of people out there, I've said this before, who would love to make a movie. They'd love to have the money and the time, but they have to support their families. They can't devote all their time to art. I've interviewed people like that. They don't do movies, but they do other kinds of art, and they don't have time to do it because they have to do a job that gives them money to pay their bills. So anyway, I just want movies to be better, okay?
Yeah.
And these movies were not better, and I thought the people who made them were very disrespectful to the actors and to the audience and to the people who funded the movies to be made. And I really, some of them, I would tell them to just step back and look at them and think about what they're doing and look at other movies that really don't even have the budget that they have, who do a lot with what little they have. They spend every penny wisely.
Like Putney Swope.
Ugh. Anyway, please don't just listen to it and make a comment. Subscribe. We like subscribers just as much as anybody else. And that's it.
Well,
I have a lot of movies to watch now and do my stores.
Please like, subscribe, and share this video with all your friends and family who like Safi and not me.
I don't know why that would be. And I don't watch as much stuff as Marco, but this is really mostly his thing, while reselling is mostly my thing.
Okay. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.